Hey guys, it's Brett from Iron Body Martial Arts here. How's it going? I run a channel here on YouTube that focuses mainly on old style traditional martial arts and conditioning training, endurance and toughness training, and yeah, everything to do with martial arts. Okay, through the magic of screen recording, we're going to go through some of these comments. I've finally figured out how to do it on some of the videos. Yeah, and we're just going to answer them, and you guys can see some of the comments and talk about some of the stuff. Try not to make the video too long. So here on my Tiger Claw video, which is the one at the top, so that video was me doing Tiger Claw conditioning on a gravel bag, or a bag of pebbles. So MGMMAZ, I'll give that a heart. It said, I did Tiger Claw Fujao Pai long time ago in high school. This is something I wish I thought I'd like to do over 20 years ago. Probably would have helped a lot. Great vid. Yeah, appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, bro. Yes. The Shifu should have shown this. Now, don't worry, I don't think I'm going to do this with every comment. I'll go back and get to them myself. But yeah, basically, if you're training Tiger Claw, Kung Fu, or training the Tiger Claw fist, then obviously there's many different ways to strengthen the gripping and sort of crushing power in your hand. And I'm sure they showed many methods. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just do the forms. So that's the problem, I guess, with Kung Fu. You never can, or with a lot of martial arts. The conditioning's kind of deemed as too hard, or the usual thing people say is like, oh, it just doesn't compat with the West. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to get... The main thing I heard back in the day was, even back in the day, was people just going, oh, you're going to get arthritis, you're going to get arthritis, you're going to get arthritis. That was even back in the day, like, 20 odd years ago. So, so yeah. So yeah, bro. Well, hopefully you can train it now, but there we go. That's another reason why I made this channel, because, there's loads of people like me, like MGMMAZE, this guy here, who, yeah, just back in the day, just didn't have the knowledge. And I'll stop saying back in the day now. So next comments here on body weapon Kung Fu training in nature. So that'll be our theme for 2023, if I actually have time to do it. The theme will be 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin skills, but mainly striking at a pile, or wooden man or something like that. And also the concept of trying to train in nature, that sort of thing. So yeah, Yenda Benjerano, who's actually around quite a lot on the channel. Thanks for your support, brother. He says, nothing better than training in nature. Good video, greetings. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's one of the newer ones, but it's nothing special. It's just me showing, just a whole different array of iron palm conditionings, and strikes and movements, against a tree or a trunk or a post, whatever you've got. Over the years, I've used trees a lot. And obviously, if you are going to train that sort of skill, then when you first start off, the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin says that you should do everything sort of statically and learn how to get power. Obviously, in the video, I'm moving around a lot because, yeah, I've been training, on piles and stuff like that for Jesus since I was 15. So obviously I've gone through that stage of just standing there statically, and statically standing there just doesn't benefit me as much anymore than moving around. Another thing, just as a side note, that I also do is it's easy to kind of look over stylized or like over kung fu-y when you're doing some of these demonstrations or when you're training. So what you want to try and do in your training, but this is why you go through the static phase where you just stand there statically training the different movements, is as you go on, once you've got them, you want to look less kung fu-y and less stylized and just more fluid and mobile, and basically less like you're doing kung fu, which is strange. It's not, you do and you don't. So in other words, people who know will be able to see the power generation, the way you move. And I don't mean like you're going to be standing up, you're going to not be doing your stances, but it's somewhere in between. You could probably do a whole video on that subject alone. So yeah. Oh well, I'll reply to Yanda because he's here. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Appreciate your comments. Seeing you at the live. Oh. Seeing you at the live stream as well. Thanks. That's another thing I always like to do. I always like to give positive comments, even on videos and stuff. What have we got here? So the next one is this third one down here. We got a comment here from Felipe Barboza, so you can have a like there. That's on the iron palm of red sand or iron palm sand bucket training video, which is quite a popular video. It's got like 200 something thousand views for my channel because they usually only have a couple of hundred. Yeah, but it's a pretty good video. He says doing this exercise will help to make the hands and fingers more muscular. Doing this exercise will help. So, oh wait, well, so that's a question. I presume he means will doing this make the hands and fingers more muscular. He says it's because I have small hands and fingers. Is there any way to make my hands and fingers grow? Yes, well, doing the exercise will make your hands and fingers stronger. If you do it over a very long period of time, with a lot of training, it might make your hands and fingers will densen, so they will grow a little. I can't say or know how much. But yeah, but I wouldn't. Pretty much the hands you've got are the hands you've got. We're talking like half a decade of work, and more. If you do this training for, decades, then your hands and fingers will be bigger and thicker than they would have been. But certainly not really any short-term growth, I would say. Pretty much, bro, you just have to come to terms with that in life. We've just stuck with what we've got, really. We can train it, we can make it stronger, but some things just yeah, that's the way they are. And just, you got to be happy with it and come to accept it, I guess. I'm sure your, hands and fingers might be small, but there'll be another, that's what I love about Kung Fu and martial arts, is there'll be another strength that you have, like you might not have the length in the hand, between your fingers or whatever to develop, to get a certain kind of power that someone else could get, or that I might be able to get because my hands are really big. But there'll be another way in which your hand will be strong. You might be able to clench your fist in a certain way that it's more powerful, and more compact than another person's fist. You might be really good at like Phoenix Eye or Leopard, just so don't get down about it. But you can make a difference, and any training that you do is better than training that you don't do. So with that in mind, if you do train the skill with the mindset that it's going to make my hands bigger, it's going to make them stronger, it's going to make them denser, then hey, that might just happen. It's a likely outcome, yeah? Okay. So thanks for that, bro. Great comment. So we'll put great comment. Answered on my latest Q&A vid. And because we're kind here, we can even put 1033 mins. I'll put just before, because it was earlier than 1033. Okay. Bone density and training course on sale. So, oh, that's a new video I did, just a quick one. Or it might have been a live stream. I've done a couple just to say, oh, it might nearly be up now, but the Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course is on sale now. The Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course is on sale. Half price. It's very well rated, so check it out. There was a link. There's usually a link. There's a link on some of my new videos, some of the last couple of videos, and I think on some of the shorts. So you can check that out. Yeah, there's a link there for those. But if you do want it, it's, you know, I can extend the sale. So hit me up and I can send you a sale code and a link. It's usually about $60, and it'll be going for like $30, which is a great time to buy it. It's a load of great course, good content, and very well rated by the martial arts community, which is nice. People who've trained with respected masters, people who've trained at Shaolin, and they've still got good things to say about the course. So it's a very honor to have people say those things. All right, let's go down. Bruce Lee's shocking drug use, the day the legacy dies. Yeah, that's a video I did. I wouldn't say it was unpopular, but the opinion is unpopular. You know, it's about the Bruce Lee drug letters and how I found out about them, and it just shocked me to my core. There's a lot of people who have more of a realistic view about it, but I was pretty like, you know, I still love Bruce Lee, still awesome, but yeah, just wow, what another side. And this gentleman here says, I'm in shock now too, I didn't know. Very disappointing and surprising. Forbidden to worship any human being in the end. And there we go, that's the lesson. As great as Bruce Lee was and all his ideas, you know, he's the one who really opened the door to the Eastern philosophy and way of life that already existed and was very deep. But really, we just didn't know about it in the West, you know. And there were many martial artists in China at the time who could vastly outperform Bruce Lee in the skills that they could do, but obviously they just weren't known about, you know, and that's the truth. You know, I know lots of people consider Bruce Lee to just be the greatest martial artist that ever existed on planet Earth, but, you know, that isn't the truth. You know, he's an awesome martial artist, great skill, but, you know, you just have to look at the ranks of what the Shaolin monks can do and the feats and the movements and those are at least on par to some of the skills that Bruce Lee is showing. And I would say even greater than the skills that he's shown. You've got Shaolin monks who can exhibit greater, and obviously other martial artists, greater speed, greater, you know, reflexes and stamina, greater skills to a higher level, because obviously he didn't get to the age, you know, iron palm, this, that, and the next thing. Might be an unpopular opinion, but unfortunately it's true. You know, you can be one of the best, but you just can't be the best in the whole wide world. You know, it just doesn't work that way. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know. Or are you still one of the people who thinks Bruce Lee was just the greatest martial artist ever to existed, and now that he's dead, there's just no one left? Well, if that was the case, you know, he wouldn't have gone to, you know, is it Ip Man? Yeah, he wouldn't have gone to Ip Man for training because he would have already been better than him. So anyway, but I'm a big lover of Bruce Lee, so don't get me wrong. It's a whole nother topic. You could go into it, so please don't get me wrong. So at the Everlast bag holder, pretty much, it's an old video of mine. I'll have to end this video soon. Pretty much the worst piece of martial arts equipment garbage I've ever bought. What is it? It was just simply a Everlast boxing bag holder. You know, to strap your boxing bag up to its ties. And what a piece of crap it was. Absolute 0 out of 10. And if you go and check the video out, you'll see, it was just garbage. So I'm glad Renee Paulson says, thank you for the review. I'm brand new to this and it's pretty close to buying it. Hope to find some Ringmaster products in Denmark. And King Bozo Jojo says, where did you get the one that's better? Well, King Bozo Jojo, if you just watched the video, the better one was a Ringmaster one. But you could probably get many versions of it. It's just a boxing bag strap. Oh, and I think it was it was a beam strap to strap your boxing bag to a beam, I think. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I only had beams that I could strap it to. But yeah, geez, I remember it was complete garbage. The straps were like the straps on a satchel, like they should have been like the Ringmaster one had straps that were like seatbelt straps, you know, thick, proper straps. And the Everlast heavy bag holder review, the heavy bag, it said, the yellow straps that held it onto the roof or whatever were literally like the quality that you'd have on a backpack, you know, like the ones you pull to tighten the backpacks. It was absolute garbage, and pretty much within a few seconds it just burnt away and was shit. So yeah. So I'll put here for this guy, glad I saved you wasting time. Again, here on the Iron Palm and Fist Sand Bucket video, which is a popular one, someone have said, I have sweaty palm hand, wanted to make my skin hard to make them dry. Okay, well, there's someone, Ableshi Singh. There's someone with, obviously, some people have an issue with, you know, over sweating, especially on the palms and stuff. I guess it's recognized as like a bit of a condition. And this gentleman here is hoping that training in the sand and training that skill might, you know, into this dry sand all the time would maybe make his skin a bit drier and tougher, and they won't sweat as much. Hey, it's worth a try. I don't actually have an answer whether it will or won't. But let us know if it does. Yeah. Good times. Let us know. It may do. It may help a little bit. A lot of the times, actually, these you know, these trainings can kind of like stimulate your natural processes, so it might actually just make them sweatier. I don't know, but yeah, that's a good one. So what is 1905, 1908? So we'll put answer in latest Q&A 1908 mins roughly. Alrighty. This video is getting long. Another video I said, one of my older videos, oh, not too old, how do I know martial arts works and what's it all for? There's probably quite a lot of like discussion videos that I do there. If you're interested, it's worth checking out. It's cool that people check them out and watch them, because like talking about martial arts can be very boring. Some people enjoy talking about martial arts. I do, but I try, I don't know, and keep to the rule. You're meant to do like 10% theory, 90% training. If ever I'm doing less than 10%, if ever I'm doing less than 90% training and more than 10% talking about it, I do feel like guilty and feel like I'm kind of failing, because that's, you just become one of those people who talks about martial arts and doesn't do it. But then I guess then you're a category of your own as well, and there's no harm in that. If you find enjoyment in martial arts by simply talking about it a lot and maybe just training a little bit, then hey, that's fine. And MGMMAZE, who I believe actually, didn't he just, oh, yeah, he gave us a comment just another comment there. So another comment from him. Thanks for, another comment from this guy. He says, I remember before deployment, we got OC sprayed and had to go and fight 3 different people. Oh man, the fun times. Yeah, bro. So yeah, in that video, I was probably talking about my reasons for why I know traditional martial arts works, or why I know this martial arts works, because there's for the last couple of years there's been a narrative of the fact that martial arts doesn't work, traditional martial arts doesn't work, and you have to go with some of the mainstream stuff, or you're not practical and you're not real, or and you're fake and blah blah blah. So that was a video of me just basically saying the opposite, and saying that it's more about the person, their own warrior instinct, their own experiences, and the effort and concentration and stuff that they put into their training, that can even make things that aren't that great work, and you discover things within your own training. But obviously, if you initially start off with a better set of stuff, then of course it's better. But that's also, that's also part of your training and part of your life, is to find the best of your martial art that you can. When I first started out, I was training traditional jiu-jitsu, and I found a better school than like normal, the like bog standard ones. But then even in that school, I started to see, things, because it was westernized. I started to see things that were, a bit iffy, and after a few months or so, I was like, oh, and then I found an even better school and a better school, and met my new instructor. And you've just got to always search for, you've got to have them, you've got to search for the best, and don't let ego keep you where you're comfortable and where you rise up the ranks, but you're not just the best that you could be. I tell you what, if you're somewhere really good, if you're somewhere that's the best place for you, you should pretty much feel shit like every day, because the level of everyone else is so high that you're just like, you just feel like a beginner every day. If you're somewhere where you're quite an experienced martial artist and you feel like a beginner every day, then my friend, you're doing good martial arts. I tell you what, you're learning in a good place. Imagine if me or you or I or anyone, went to like the #1 UFC training center, or a high level MMA gym or something like that. You could be, because I know the feeling, because, I went to, one of our MMA gyms and trained there for a couple of months. You're going into something new. You exploring areas that you haven't explored in years. Yes, you've got your skills, but you go into those places, and at times you just you feel like a beginner again. You're just like, man, this is just totally new. It's just totally different, and that's. But then you're growing, you're experiencing martial arts, and you can go to those places even as an experienced traditional martial artist and get humbled, because you're getting challenged in different ways. You're going up against real people, all those things. I'm not saying all of those applied to me, but they can certainly apply. You know, I've tried to never allow sort of ego and stuff to make me think I'm better than I am. I always probably think I'm shitter than I am, you know. So that's kind of my safety net for usually then when I go to other places and other martial arts and MMA clubs, I usually end up leaving feeling better because I, performed better than I thought I was going to, rather than being that person who thinks they're so good, does worse, and then can't deal with the breakdown. Anyway, enough of that. So we'll finish off with this one: iron palm and fist training, sand bucket method of Shaolin Kung Fu. That video again. Steve Thea, I'll give those some hearts. Steve Thea says the patting sand is easier when put in a canvas bag. I believe creating a sandbag. Yes, Steve. The sandbag is another method, of course, and it's easier. It's less mess. More, what's the word? Accessible. Blah 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 blah. But if you watch the video, there's stuff that you do in this with the sand bucket you just can't do with a sandbag. You can't plow your hand like 30 centimeters into a sandbag, twist it, and pull it. It's just a very specific stuff that you can't do. So 2625. So reply in latest Q and A. 26, 25 mins. About. Better put a comma there, otherwise you'll get confused. Gotta do good punctuation, people. And Creamy Samurai. Good name. Good name. Creamy Samurai. So I'll just put answer in latest Q and A vid 2733. I know I said I wasn't going to do this for everyone. Creamy Samurai, I've actually answered this again in one of my recent videos. I've answered this in one of my recent videos. Again, if you tuned in, but it's hard to find because I talk about so many topics. But would dirt from the backyard work for doing that? Yes, it would. You can sieve it. You can sieve the crap out of it. It depends what kind of dirt. If it's sand, if it's more like mud and organic matter based, then it's not going to be as good because it's not going to be as dense. If you can sieve it or dig a bit deeper whereby you get to sand, that's fine. Again, it depends how fine the sand is. It can work. It depends what it's made out of, like, because obviously sand is made from different kinds of rocks and different things. But the one thing I would say about being careful about just dirt is that, there's what do you call it? There's tetanus in dirt. It lives in the ground, Now that's why when you cut yourself on something rusty, you get a tetanus injection. And tetanus is a really bad disease that if you're not inoculated or whatever, it can really mess you up and kill you. So raw soils, you got to be careful. Can it be in beach sand and stuff? I guess it probably could. But it just seems to live in soil. I don't know. So maybe, just it's up to you. Don't be fearful that this tetanus is going to get you, but just know that it's a thing. And maybe the more sandier your soil is, the better. The more sort of dirt clogged soil it is, probably not so much. But having said that, there's people who garden for their whole lives, so digging hands in soil, it's fine. We're in the modern age, so you can probably dodge the tetanus. But yeah, just hey mate, it's a lot of this is about making your own judgment call and giving it a try. You know, thanks for the comment. Good comment. Actually, here's a good comment, so we'll finish up on this one. I'll start doing this at first. 30 mins. Answer in latest Q and A at 30 mins. Thanks. So yeah, guys, let me know. Let me know what you think about this kind of style of question and answer. I suppose it'd be pretty cool, or not cool, but it's probably good for like the people who are watching, that you can see the other comments and actually see the comments and get your answer like this. Or, you know, maybe it makes a bit of a change from me just replying. I replied to so many comments. I haven't been replying to many comments recently because there's so many, and I have I've been really busy and stuff. But anyway, hey, this is a good one. Just a general question from Anthony Douglas. Hey, Iron Body Martial Arts, do you need Dit to Joe to keep training Iron Palm, or do you need to use Dit to Joe? So look, many years ago, and for the vast majority of my training, I didn't actually have access to a decent Dit to Joe. Certainly in the earlier stages of this channel, when you saw it, if you go back to 12 years, the things I was able to achieve without the application of Dit to Joe, brick breaking, all the conditioning, this and that and the next thing. One thing I would say is, like, your body can only sort of grow to a certain extent, and it also is very slow. It's much slower without Dit to Joe. Dit to Joe is a very complicated thing. It's simple but complicated. You know, it's got the compounds in it probably aren't readily fully understood by Western medicine. Individually they are, but it's got things in it that cause blood, blood flow, anti-clotting, blood stasis and movement, adaptogens that help the body to cope, like ginseng and antler, holy basil, things that help the body to fight stress. It's also got things, you can read up about it. It's fairly well known now. You can Google it, and there's all sorts of different things, from the Chinese medicine point of view. As well as antiseptics, it's like frankincense and myrrh. They have antiseptic properties, they have healing properties. Because obviously back in the day, when they didn't have antiseptics, you could cut yourself and, you could die from a sepsis. So, that's why, if you're bruising yourself and smacking your fists and getting cuts or whatever, although you're not meant to put Dit to Joe into cuts because it's slightly poisonous, you'd put this stuff on. Obviously it would help, and it's in alcohol as well, which sterilizes things. Did they know that back in the day? I don't know, but it does. Long-winded answer. I would say you making your life so much easier if you have Dit to Joe. And if you're going to train Iron Palm, if you're like conditioning on a tree and, striking some makiwara and stuff like that, and this and that and the next thing, the wood stages, the wood stages of element, and a bit maybe sand as well, earth, then then you're all right. Maybe you don't need Dit to Joe, but it'll be a slow process. But if you've got Dit to Joe, it'll just speed things up so much. It'll help the body. It's meant to guard against internal harms in some way as well. So I would say you can train Iron Palm without Dit to Joe. Like, I used to use other things. That's something I do mention. Although I didn't use Dit to Joe per se, I still knew that I should be. So I used to use things like Tiger Balm, which is like Dit to Joe light, because it's only got like clove oil and menthol and a few things that cause like the blood to go to the area and heat, which is what you want. I used to use sometimes Tiger Balm, You know, I used to soak my hands in hot water, you know, after training, you know, just things to mimic sort of what Dita Joe does. So yeah, then there's quite a few of those sorts of things, not to mention the Qigong. So in short, awesome question, Anthony. But mate, just do yourself a favor, get some Dita Joe. You know, I've got links on nearly all my videos to Plum Dragon Herbs, where you can get awesome Dita Joe from them. And if you follow the links, I think it even gives you a discount. But there's also, in Australia here, I found a guy who sells Dita Joe online called Red Chi, and he's awesome as well. Great Dita Joe. Because of COVID, I got a stock of Dita Joe off him. I wasn't able to get from because of all the COVID and stuff. I wasn't able to get from Plum Dragon. So I just got from this guy locally in Australia. And yeah, great Dita Joe as well. So Red Chi or Plum Dragon Herbs, you know, check them out. Yeah. So look, it's 35 minutes. So we've gone through, sorry, we should have done more comments, but we've gone through a good couple of comments. Those ones will disappear now. Yeah, the older comments. And you guys, let me know what you think about this. Did you enjoy this kind of video? And yeah, I can do this sort of thing again. And it was pretty good. But anyway, look, enjoy, have a good training. Thank you to the Patreon people for supporting the channel. Thank you for the likes and subscribes. And also, if you buy the Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course, you also help to support the channel and stuff like that. So that's good. Also, let me know if you know, I was thinking of also opening up the membership side of this channel, which is basically like Patreon but on YouTube, where people can just join the channel, and I think it gives them a few extra benefits and some videos. I'm thinking of doing like a how-to series and also a book when I get round to it, and also another course on Udemy. But I was thinking of doing a how-to series on YouTube here, which is basically like a syllabus. Or start from punching, all the ways of holding the hand, you know, the fists, the kicking, the ways of training, the ways that I train things. We train things here at IBMA, and just basically going from zero to as far as you can through all the basics and all the foundation stuff. I was thinking of making a bunch of those videos, and adding those as membership content on Patreon here. On YouTube members and Patreon. So let me know what you guys think about that. Is it a good idea? Is it something you'd be interested in? Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, everyone have a good one, and thanks. What does that do? I don't know. Alrighty.